Thanks for tuning in to EDC Journeys. Hope you enjoy the video. If you do, hit the thumbs up button and consider subscribing. What's going on, EDC people, and what's our journey this morning? Well, I have an unboxing. It was going to be a real full review, but a good friend of mine really wants the knife, so it's going to be an unboxing and basically a general overview. I'll give you the stats and tell you my thoughts on it. So, without further ado, I will show you the box. It's already been opened, and I have it out, so this is not much of a big deal, but this is the box. It's obviously an SOG, SOG, whatever. It is the SEAL XR. Studies and Observation Group. I guess that's the term they're the name that they desire to be called now. It is the SEAL XR in CPM S35VN, which is great steel, and this is one hell of a chunk of it. This knife weighs in, actually I couldn't even use my scale, it said overload, but the website that I'm looking at right now says 8.3 ounces, which I believe completely. So let's go through the stats. The website says the blade length is 3.9 inches. I have a handy dandy ruler sitting right here. We can just double check that. It's hard because the tip, oh I see. Yeah, 3.9. Yeah, that's accurate. See, if you look at the ruler, it doesn't start until there. That's what kind of caught me off. The handle looks to be about 5.3 inches. And overall length, the website says 9.2. And that's pretty much dead on. Okay, so let's do some comparisons. Not that I have very many things in this size, shape, or genre to compare with, but here is my, and I'll do it kind of pivot to pivot, my Manix 2. And while we're on Spyderco, I'll pull out the, I believe this is the Resilient. You can see the Resilient has a cutting edge that's pretty, actually it's a little longer. The handle's about the same. Okay. And then I'll show you the Civivi Backlash. It's kind of got the semi-clip point, but it looks like a baby compared to the SOG. And the last thing I found in my rush this morning was the Ganzo FH12. Straight black knife. But size-wise, well, at least at the blade, the cutting edge is fairly similar. Okay. So let's talk more in specific about this knife. You can see that it's got a big clip point blade. You can see some of the marks on the coating where I did some test cuts, and I'll show you some test cuts. It's got the XR lock mechanism, which is really great. It's got a flipper tab, a big old flipper tab, but it makes it so fun to fidget with. I mean, it's really hard to show you in front of this little camera because it's such a big knife, but you know, if you can get into the rhythm of it, which I'm not in front of the camera, of course. Let me try this side. It's kind of upside down to you, but it actually does have a fairly nice fidget factor. It has a hole in it, so you can do the reverse flick or Spidey flick. Balance-wise, You know, it's not bad. It's pretty much right at that XR lock. It has on the end of the knife what they call a persuader tool. I'm not sure if that's a glass breaker or if it's just a skull crusher kind of a thing. I have a funny feeling it could probably do both. And either way, if this knife isn't intimidating enough to you, to the point where you're that close, yes, that would persuade me. Take a look at the jimping on this. It's got jimping literally all over the knife. Starting with the thumb stud. The jimping is aggressive, but it's aggressive in a good way because because of the size of the blade and the weight on it. You want to get a good grip on that thumb flipper tab. It's got. I'm trying to show you if I can focus. It's got ceramic bearings, which is kind of surprising. I would have thought they would have gone with phosphor bronze with a knife like this, but hey, back to the jimping. So you can see at the top where you would put your finger if you were going to do, like a hammer grip or any pushing. That has quite a bit of jimping there, and it's contoured. It's very comfortable. But the jimping starts there, and it is hefty. It is definitely usable jimping for bare hands, but it would work. It would translate to gloves as well because it's so big. The jimping starts there. It goes around the handle. It's on the back spacer. You have your persuader tool. Jimping picks right back up on the bottom. And you go all the way back to the flipper tab that you started with. So you have jimping all the way around this guy. It does have a nice sharpening choil. Although with a huge chunk of S35VN like this, you may be able to go a little while before you have to sharpen. It's obviously coated. The handle is glass reinforced nylon. Okay, that's what, so according to the website, it gives it its lightness at 8.3 ounces. Ooh, did you hear that? It is a fun knife, and it's good looking. I do have to say, all things considered, it's made in the USA. It's out of stock on a lot of websites right now. I even hear that it may be discontinued, but it's a pretty sharp looking knife. I really like it's not my style. It's a little too big for me personally because I don't have much use for it. The SOG clip, before I forget, is the typical, overstated SOG clip. It is ambidextrous. It can go on both sides. But on this knife, I don't feel it whatsoever. The grip on it, on that glass ring. I'm looking at the I was looking at the jimping, but I'm looking at the dimples on the handle now. You really have gripping all over this thing. You're not going anywhere. And to quote Nick Shabazz, this is definitely made for the Vaseline factory. Oh, so some news for the channel. I have a friend that I've had for, well, pretty much since I've started this channel. I've many friends that have channels that do the same thing, but one friend in particular right now that is going to be my knife pimp, and he's going to send me knives so that I don't have to try to keep up financially buying them. He's going to send me some knives. I'll be able to spend some time with them, review them, and get videos of them, and then I'll send them back. We'll talk more about the who of that later, but my buddy just had to have this knife when he saw it, so I had to get this out of the way fast. I have not had much time to, try it out in pocket. I've only really fidgeted with it overnight, and I'll tell you, it's, for that XR lock works really well. It really does. I'm very surprised. I guess maybe I've experienced the low end SOGs, because was quite the delightful surprise when I got to it. Let's do a little bit of cutting of cardboard. I don't want to do too much because my beautiful display table will get all ruined, but we'll start with just a simple push cut through. And I'm going, oh, yeah, I knew I was going to hit that. It's very easy. This is very awkward angle. So that was just pushing, okay? If I find the sweet spot on the belly that I talk about all the time, what a joke. It is really very sharp. Slice cuts, same story. Very easy. You know, due to the nature of it, it is a clip point, so you do have a very functioning puncture point, and it's very sharp. And I'm trying not to go so hard that I whack my camera here, so it has nothing to do with the cardboard. This thing is just eating it all day long. I knew it. It's eating the cardboard all day long, no problem whatsoever. Maybe I'll go outside after and shoot some more of the cutting and edit it into the video, because we're making a mess in here. Okay, so yeah, I'll go outside and do some more cutting and edit it into the video. But let's get another good look at the knife up close. You can see the jimping and how aggressive it is. The XR lock is on both sides, so if you are left-handed and switch the pocket clip to the opposite side, it's pretty much a true ambidextrous experience, because you can flick it and retract it and flip it and retract it just as easily with both hands. You know, the pocket clip, I'm a fan of the fact that I can't feel it, so it is designed well in that sense. It's placed well, but I'm not a huge fan of the SOG or SOG or whatever big wide pocket clips, but you know, it is what it is. Um, Speaking of, when you have that in pocket, your lanyard hole, and let's see about how much, half an inch. Well, let's be more specific than that, since I have my nice ruler here. That's centimeters. That's for another part of the. Okay, we have more than half an inch. We have literally a full inch from the pocket stop to the end of this persuader tool that'll be sticking out of your pocket. You know, I don't know how you feel about that, but that's basically how it is. So on this video, I'm not going to be able to take it apart. I'm not going to disassemble it and show you the insides, mostly because it's already spoken for. But it is, as I said, a bearing pivot system. It's the XR lock. It's a chunk of S35VN with a beautiful clip point. I like the swedging on it too. I really do. They did a great job on this knife, I have to say. You see, I'm not a massive fan of coating in any way, shape, or form, because it always leaves marks. You have to do it with just the right cloth to, I feel like, to get rid of that marking, but that's okay. I have to do more cutting anyways. Ergonomics. You know, in a bare hand, if you really squeeze it, the gripping is almost a little too much. But I have a funny feeling that the person who's using this knife is either gloved or they want that jimping, you know, digging in so that they can use it for what they need to use it for. Because this is not really a office carry knife or gentleman's, you know, church knife. It's definitely got a specific use in mind, I think. Let's see here. What else can I tell you? Let's take a look. I have the caliper right here. Let's take a look at the girth of it. So in inches, you're at 0.70, so it's definitely a wide guy. If you figure the average is around half an inch, 0.70 is definitely, almost a quarter larger. What else can I tell you about this guy? The lanyard hole, I guess it is what it is. It's there. I enjoy the fact that you can flip it. It is very heavy to flip, I can tell you that. You can, you're pushing that blade quite a ways from back here behind the pivot up and around. So it's very easily possible, especially with these ceramic bearings. But I really dig the XR lock. I really am. I didn't think I was gonna like it so much, but this is my first time experiencing it, so maybe I'll have to look into that a little bit more. Billboarding. On the non-show side or clip side, we have made in USA or USA made. On the opposite side, as I showed you at the beginning, it's Studies and Observation Group, SEAL XR, CPM, S35GM. And you are getting, let me grab those calipers again. Let's go to millimeters for the blade. Okay, so it's all zeroed out. So at about its thickest point, you're looking at 4.74, so say 4 3/4 millimeters, nearly 5 millimeters thick at the high flat. Again, I'm not so good at doing a behind the edge measurement, so I won't even bother. But you have a high flat until the bottom of the billboarding, and then you have from here to the apex of flat grind straight down, which is let's see, 3/4 of an inch. So at its maximum, you got about 3/4 of an inch of flat grind from the flat to the apex. And then look at that really nice swedge they have there at the clip point. I like that a lot. They did a really great job with it, I have to say. If you're in the market for this tool. I mean, this is definitely it reminds me of the Freeman I did from Rick Kearns back a couple months ago, I guess now. It's a big guy. But there are people that are going to really appreciate what this is made for. But to the average person, this is not an EDC, at least in my opinion. My opinion could be wrong. Everyone has opinions. I think I was saying ergonomically, the jimping, yeah, that's one thing. But, I don't often like having the finger hole, the finger waves or whatever, because it usually, I like a neutral handle where I can put my fingers where I like. But on this knife, it not only makes sense because you want that grip. It fits the roll. It makes it comfortable. I can't even keep the whole knife on the screen as I'm showing you these things. Yeah, it makes it comfortable. I really am interested in what. You know what? Let me grab a magnet real quick. Okay, we got a magnet. I'm interested in. Yeah, obviously the S35 is steel. The clip is steel. The liners are steel. The back spacer is steel, and we have a steel persuader tool. Okay, that makes sense. I was just curious. I wonder. It looks like that's T8. I wonder if they went down to T6 on this big thing. That would be almost annoying. Let's see if we can get a better look inside. Yeah, there is minimal skeletonization. I'm not sure how much weight relief that really gives, but it's better than nothing. You can see the stainless steel liner there. I'm trying to see if we can see the pivot, and we can kind of see the edges of them, but so they must be caged, but I can't really see. It's pretty tight in there. Which is what you want. Alright, well, what do you guys think of this thing? It's huge, it's large and in charge, but it's USA made, CPM S35VN, so you're working with a great steel. It's clearly got a purpose, a use. I'm not sure if that persuader tool is necessary, but hey, it's there. I guess it's not too obtrusive, really, compared to some. I don't see like a ceramic ball or a ceramic part at the end that would be designed for glass breaking. So I'm sure you could just physically smash through the glass with it, but yeah, I think it's more of a, this is the second one I've done. I've done that Freeman and this, as far as, large specialty knives. I guess I'll call it a large specialty knife. But I think it's sexy, actually. It's all black, obviously. It's blacked out, which is perfect for what you want this for. You don't want to draw attention to the large blade. You don't want the reflections. The only thing that's reflecting is a beautiful apex. And take a look at that bevel. Try zooming in a little bit on it. Yeah, hey, there. Here we go, Bob. Let's get a little smarter. Yeah, so it looks pretty even all the way around. Maybe a slight smile at the ending, but not really. Yeah, that's got to be the factory edge, and it is real nice. So, what do you guys think of the SOG SEAL XR? I think it's a sexy knife, and for those people who are looking for something like this, I think it's another great choice. That's my overview on it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm outside with a little piece of cardboard. It is real cardboard, so as opposed to that thin stuff I was using the last couple of reviews. We're talking about the SEAL XR from SOG. And I'm just going to do some cuts into the recycle bin. And I'm trying to see if I'm aimed up right. Yes, I am. Sliding cut, very easy. What a joke. I mean, it handles out like it's nothing. Push cut with the belly. If I can get a good grip on this piece of cardboard. No problem, even all the way down through the center where it's the thickest. It really does cut pretty well. And you have that comfortable little dip here with the jimping so that you can really, you know, either puncture in, slice, push. I'm just gonna just push straight off. Well, that's not really that. Here we go. I hit the damn recycle bin. Let me try again. Yeah, it's I mean, really, this is showing you not much besides me cutting up cardboard, which is always fun, but there's no effort involved here. It's very sharp, right from the factory. So for whatever that's worth. Now, you see the markings that it causes on the, let me try to get it in the sunlight, maybe you can see it better, on the coating. I'm gonna wipe it off so that my buddy who's taking it from me, buying it from me, I guess, won't see those, but it just annoys me. I don't like coating too much. Oh well. Overall, let me know what you think about the SEAL XR down below in the comments. It is definitely an outdoorsman's knife, I think. But if you have a use for it, if this is something that is in your market, then I think it's a good choice, and especially an S35 VN. That's my quick little overview of it. Hope you enjoyed. Nice knife, especially for USA made. This is just me playing around a little bit more with the action. I'm using the snow as a backdrop. Make it easy to see. So let's see. This is gonna be, I'm gonna like light switch it. No problem. I'll try to do a push. Yeah, no problem at all. If you give it a little wrist on the return, it seems to kind of go in a little better. Oops, I failed it. Wow. See, a lot of times I let go of the XR slide rail or whatever a little too soon, and you don't get it in. You can, no big deal, you can just pop it down, but if you're aimed up, you know, so that the weight kind of brings you in, you're good. And if you're not, just a little kind of like pull back of the wrist gets you right in there. But if you're in any position where the weight and gravity can work for you, it's no problem at all. Anyways, I just wanted to play with it a little bit more before it goes. I may not have explained too well that I'm getting some knives sent to me to basically review and send back and then get some more, so I'll have some more content. This is one of them, and a good friend of mine basically lost his mind when he saw it and had to have it, so he through me bought it, and so I didn't get a chance to do a really solid review on the knife. But that's what you just watched, was my overview and best I could do having it for just one day. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in to EDC Journeys. Hope you enjoyed the overview. If you did, hit that thumbs up button and consider subscribing.